If Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California, okay? In other words, if we had an honest vote counter.
What does that mean?
Well, I think that he feels like California, there are a lot of Republicans and there are a lot of votes here. I think he was probably, a little bit of a stretch.
Trump lost here by close to 5 million votes. Do you have evidence that he actually won this state, that there were 5 million more people that voted for him that weren't counted?
No.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Trump has as much chance of winning in California as J.D. Vance does charming someone in a donut shop.
The zoo has come to town. Thank you for letting us come in here.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'm sorry, man. Okay, yeah. She doesn't want to be on film, guys, so just cut her out of anything. Appreciate that, man. I'm J.D. Vance. I'm running for vice president. Good to see you.
Okay.
How long are you working?
I've been here since the beginning of July.
Okay.
For this year.
Okay, good. How about you, sir?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, good. Just everything, yeah. I mean, a lot of glazed here, some sprinkle stuff, some of these cinnamon rolls, just whatever makes sense. How long has this place been around?
About 4 years.
About 4 years? Okay. How long have you been here?
A little over 6 months.
Okay, good.
But in Trump's delusional world, where his ego is insatiable, the bluest state, California, where Kamala Harris was Attorney General and Senator, would rather vote for him than a female.
Because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate. I look at California. I gave a speech. I had a crowd so big. I said, there's no way I could lose California, but automatically they mark it down if you're a Republican as a loss. That you lose by 5 million votes. I said, 5 million votes. I guarantee if Jesus came down and was the vote counter, I would win California, okay?
When Trump said that he won California, I could hear the laughter sitting in my California town. It went down my street, around the town, through the county, and up the California coast, because we overwhelmingly vote Democrat in the presidential election. Sure, we have some swing districts and produced Kevin McCarthy, and maybe he drove by a few of those signs, but that's not exactly factual. This sounds more like a desperate thing from Trump. The fact is that not only do we vote heavily Democrat in the presidential elections, but we have so many volunteers from California that outside the state, we end up being the #1 volunteer in the 2020 Senate election in Georgia. There were more California volunteers than any other state. We are a force to be reckoned with. The fact is, Trump is getting desperate. His "I'm not weird, you're weird" isn't working for him so well. The polls are showing it. The momentum of the Harris-Walz campaign and filling stadium after stadium is undeniable.
Harris and running mate Tim Walz are closing out day one of a 2-day campaign through Georgia, a state that new polling just put out tonight suggests may be winnable for her in November. Her opponent was not on the trail today, though it was just 2 days ago that the former president's campaign was saying we'd be seeing Trump on steroids, meaning more appearances in battleground states in the days and weeks ahead. Instead, with the exception of visits to Arlington National Cemetery in Detroit on Monday and a taped interview with Dr. Phil last night, the main place to find the former president has been on social media. Yesterday, he was raging against the new indictment that Jack Smith secured in the election interference case. Today, he took it to a whole other level.
And he's getting desperate and even more sexist. I mean, don't you remember the sexism from 2016? It almost seems quaint now. The whole, is she strong enough to be commander-in-chief? Him standing silently behind her with the debate. How is it I'm wishing for those times? Because the sexism in this campaign is disgusting and frankly, hard to report.
The former president of the United States, who wants to be the next president, is now directly spreading the slogans of the conspiracy cult QAnon, as well as posting a crude, sexist, and misogynistic slur online. Reposting, to be precise, which means he didn't come up with it himself, but liked it so much that he wanted the rest of the world to see it, which is both a gentle introduction and a warning. One posting of several uses two QAnon catchphrases: "Nothing can stop what is coming," which refers to the so-called mass arrests of so-called deep state members, which in the warped world of QAnon is basically anyone who has irked Donald Trump. Another posting shows President and Hunter Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, and Vice President Harris in prison in orange jumpsuits. Dr. Fauci and Bill Gates, presumably there for their advocacy of vaccination. Again, this is what the former president of the United States chose to rebroadcast to and amplify for his many followers. He did not look at this stuff, chuckle silently to himself, if that's what he would do, and move on. Instead, he wanted to give it the stamp of approval of the 45th and perhaps the 47th president of the United States. And then there is this, a photo of Kamala Harris and Hillary Clinton. The caption, which I'm not going to read out, is demeaning of both women and contains a vulgar reference to oral sex acts. Now remember, again, this is the Republican candidate for president and the 45th president of the United States talking about two women who, no matter what you think of their politics, are two of the most accomplished women in American political history. This is what he chose to amplify, which, as extreme as it is not exactly out of character when it comes to him and women.
The fact is that he reposted a photo with Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris and said how blowjobs affected both of their careers differently. I can't believe, as a lawyer and a reporter, I'm actually having to report on this in 2024 about a presidential nominee. This apparently is the level of sexism we are accepting in our candidate, or at least a big portion of our country and media, yes, you Fox, is accepting from our candidate. It's frankly disgusting, and not stopping there. He talks about how at the CNN interview she did, how she doesn't look like a leader, which was both sexist and racist. And then you have J.D. Vance talking about how a woman isn't really a woman if they haven't had children, so they need to just shut up, be quiet, and not have any input in this country. And then doubles down on that when given a chance not to. He also wants to track the menstrual period of women, and this policy is getting basically no attention from people outside the liberal media. So women have been taken away the autonomy over their own bodies by the Supreme Court. We have a ticket with Trump Vance, who thinks women are less than, who shouldn't have any input, attacking the leader of the teacher union because according to them, she doesn't have children, even though her spouse has children. But because she's not a biological children, he finds it creepy that she has input of children. So we are disparaging women, whether or not they have children, how they have children gives them merit. We are talking about blowjobs from the presidential nominee. This is our level of sexism, and we're not even at September yet. This is beyond desperation. This is disgusting, and we need to, all of us, be calling it out. And when his campaign comes out and says he doesn't know what went on by posting that, well, where's Trump himself, who says he didn't mean to post it? Of course he doesn't say it because he means it. And unfortunately, I think those sexist comments are just beginning.
She was by far the nastiest to Joe Biden. There was nobody nastier than her.
She was extraordinarily nasty to Kavanaugh. She was nasty to a level that was just a horrible thing. She was probably nastier than even Pocahontas. By the racist Attorney General of New York State, Letitia Peekaboo James. How about low IQ Maxine Waters?
Omarosa is obviously the ultimate villain and the nastiest. I think it's a very nasty question when you continue in a very hostile, nasty tone.
What a stupid question. But I watch you a lot. You ask a lot of stupid questions.
So if we had any doubt whether or not the media was complicit with the Trump problem, Jesse Waters from Fox News made it real clear this week that they are. He said on national television that the generals would have their way with her, referring to Kamala Harris in the Situation Room.
This is where the president has his most impact. You have a lot of room to maneuver there as commander-in-chief. We don't know who she is. We don't know what she believes. She's going to get paralyzed in the Situation Room while the generals have their way with her. Right now,
Jesse Waters. Jesse, I don't like that.
Figuratively, again.
Take it back.
Have their way with her. Control her. Not in a sexual way.
He said it wasn't sexual. Well, it was certainly sexist and frankly disgusting. it was also insulting to the generals. In his world, like Trump said he would grope any woman at any time. So in his world, well, I guess most men are assaulters. And women just helpless? Well, welcome to Kamala Harris's world. She's certainly a woman who's not helpless. She's definitely a woman who could stand up to Donald Trump, and it has been really gratifying for all of us to watch.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.